that was the best part of my act. So we're down here celebrating our 40th anniversary, Pixie and I. Thank you, thank you. The only reason why I do this is because it's the only place I could get a word in edgewise. You know what? We're Italian, we talk with our hands a lot, Pixie especially. She's always going a mile a minute. She looks like she's landing planes on an aircraft carrier, where she broke her wrist last summer and she developed a speech impediment. She's like a fresh cannoli, my Pixie. She smells great, she tastes delicious, but like too many cannolis, she's killing me slowly. So any Italians in the room? Anybody of Italian descent? Couple? Okay. So, I don't know if you've had similar experiences, but Pixie and I are used to really big holidays. We both got big families. And when we moved to Cincinnati, it was just the two of us one Thanksgiving. And Pixie went out to get a turkey. I said, get a 12-pound turkey. She comes back with a little 6-pound turkey. We sit down and eat. And I feel like I'm back in Brooklyn eating roasted pigeon. It was so tiny. Now we have gangs of people show up at our house for Christmas, for Easter, for Thanksgiving. And, you know, we're used to cooking for like 30 people. So we have maybe 12, 14 people for a holiday. Everybody eats, and they're like, there's so much food. What are they going to do with all the food? So we surprised them. At the end of the night, there's Pixie standing by the front door with Tupperwares full of food. She's like the Oprah Winfrey of leftovers. You got a Tupperware, you got a Tupperware, you got a Tupperware. Years ago, when we would go to a party, I would hear people say, check the book. I didn't know what they meant. Then I found out both of my grandmothers, on my dad's side and my mother's side, had black and white marble notebooks. And in these notebooks, they recorded all the gifts for anything from a christening to a wedding to an engagement party. The interesting thing was my grandfathers both got in there and made little annotations in the notebook. That's the cheapest son of a bitch, only give her $5. I'm the uncle, I'm gonna sit at table one, and on it went. This is how my grandfathers managed the party economy. Oh, now I got a problem. All right, so, you know, maturing in marriage is coming to the realization that your wife can't remember where she left her glasses, typically on her head, but she can remember something you said 39 years ago on a Monday night at 8:56 p.m. It's remarkable. Menopause was an interesting time for us. It happens to you, right? I know. Menopause was an interesting time. I'm sure you had the same experience. So I said to Pixie, what's this menopause thing like? Explain it to me. She goes, it's like this internal fire. I feel like I'm burning up from the inside out. I said to her, oh, I get it. It's like when I eat spicy Mexican food. A half hour later, I woke up and she was standing over me laughing. You know, technology has been a great benefit to society, but it's also been detrimental. Like, I see my little nephews, they're sitting on a couch, they're 6 feet apart, and they're texting each other. And I'm like, I don't get it. Like, if the detriment is like, kids just have no social skills now. They can't sit and talk face to face. However, I think the largest detriment is the fact that when you go to somebody's house and you go to the bathroom, there's no longer a magazine rack. Everybody has a cell phone on the toilet. It's amazing. So you could say I got a few tattoos, and we're sitting in the backyard, and Pixie looks down and she says, why do you have 3 lines tattooed on the inside of your thigh? And I said, well, it's like when the kids were little, we would put a line on the door jamb to chart their growth. So she says, I understand, but why the lines above your knee? I said, well, Pixie, I'm trying to measure the impact of gravity on my balls. She says, why the dotted line? I said, because at that point, I have to stop wearing shorts. You know, the pharmaceutical industry is an amazing thing. They come out with a new drug every week. They got nice lyrical names, so you don't know what kind of shit you're taking. And, you know, they've got side effects. I don't understand. I'm not a chemist, so I don't understand how it all works. But how can one drug have a side effect that it gives you constipation or diarrhea? I mean, you should all get off the pot, right? I mean, it's one or the other. But the one that really blows my mind is the swelling between your anus and your genitals. I just thought that was because I eat a bag of Oreos every day. So, as you go through life, there are things you join and things you want to quit. The three most difficult things in my mind to quit are: one, a cult. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Two, a timeshare. And three, a gym. The gym is the worst. You call up and you want to quit, they won't let you quit. You got to come in. I go in, I'm sitting down, they're calling me fat, they're calling me non-committal. I'm on the fucking verge of tears, and I ended up signing up for the gold membership. I got one more jokey joke. I'm up in New York, and I'm with my little nephew Matt. He wants to go for some ice cream. So we jump in the car, and I don't know if you know anything about New York, but as you're driving around, inevitably, you end up behind a garbage truck. So we're driving, the garbage truck hits a speed bump. This giant dildo comes flying out of the back of the garbage truck, smashes into the windshield. My nephew's like bug-eyed. I said, Matt, don't worry about it. It was just a bug. He looks me dead in the eye, and he goes, Uncle Rocky, how does a bug fly with a dick that big? All right, that's my time. Thanks, everyone.